What's going on, everyone? So, Team USA is locked up, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis will both be with Team USA. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Team USA is a great recruiting tool, right? And Anthony Davis and LeBron James will both be there. Definitely recruiting, especially LeBron. I mean, that's like what he does. And with all the talk of stars and whatnot, and post LeBron as they move into that era, that there's gonna be willing and dealing. There's gonna be conversations, not even just from a Lakers standpoint, but just period, right? Yeah, you do have some of like the veteran guys, the Kawhi Leonards, the Steph Currys, the Kevin Durant's, the LeBron James, who they're gonna go into a different era. But you do have guys like Anthony Edward and Tyrese Halliburton and some of these younger players that could potentially be future Lakers, right? And now again, I know some people you're going to get the people in the comments that are like, oh, this guy or that guy are never going to be Lakers. How many times have we heard that as Laker fans? Right? Lakers will never get Shaq. Guess who's a Laker? Lakers will never get Kareem. Guess who's a Laker? Or Lou Alcindor, right? Never going to get, they'll never get Pau Gasol. They'll never get, Dwight Howard. They'll never get Steve Nash. Do you know how many guys that Gary Payton, Carmelo, do you know how many guys have been on the Lakers, stars? I mean, whether they were in their primes or not, but like, do you know how many players have been Lakers that you never would have thought at a point would have ever been a Laker? I mean, LeBron James even. If you told me 10 years ago, oh, LeBron is going to the Lakers, or if I said 10 years ago, hey, Lakers, hey, man, LeBron, that would make a lot of sense for him and the Lakers. People would tell me I need to be kicked off the internet, right? Like, I'd be canceled. Right? People would be like, you're the most delusional person I've ever seen. Well, guess what? LeBron is in a Laker jersey. Anthony Davis. Right? If I told you LeBron and Anthony Davis were being paired up and we'd win a championship with the two of them, like, people would be calling the loony bin on me. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Again, this is a recruitment place. I mean, Miami's big three was created there. Right? And, LeBron and Anthony Davis, they're going to be there. They're going to be talking to these guys. LeBron, like, hey, man, like, Lakers are great, right? Like, even when I leave, I'll play with my boy Anthony Davis. All right? Like, you two, man, imagine what you guys could do. Hey, you're only like, next year, you'll have a final year of your deal. Like, hey, man, why don't you maybe nudge your way over here? If things don't work out where you're at, right? Like, again, don't underestimate the value of like just networking and these players. And a lot of these guys are friends, and like even post LeBron and AD, right? Because like you look at guys, in general, Anthony Davis is going to be the big selling point. Before I get into the other guys, Anthony Davis he's the guy that's going to have to do the most, like, recruit. Like, hey, man, like, LeBron's only got so many years left, right? Like, come to me, like, let's go work this out, right? Like, why don't we, try to be teammates, in 2 years or whatever, 3 years, right? Your contract's up, man. Like, I'll still be young enough to where we can make some noise. And then afterwards, man, when I ride off into the sunset, it's your team. Like, it's just, there's definitely, like, a lot of this is going to center and be focused on Anthony Davis, right? And Anthony Davis would be the draw, right? Because a lot of these guys are under contract for a couple more years. And yeah, once they get into like their final year, the summer before their final year, yeah, then they can maybe make the push. But realistically, you're probably looking 2 years out for a lot of these guys. Maybe like a Kevin Durant or something like that. But, like the younger guys, you're basically looking a couple years from now. But again, the recruiting process, I mean, it's not like the year before Miami got put together that they were talking. No, it was years earlier. And they were like, hey, man, and then next thing you know, hey, man, we might be able to do this. What do you guys think? How do you think we should do this? And lo and behold, they put it together and they're great. And I'm not even saying that the Lakers have to create a big three, right? Like Anthony Edwards and, Tyrese Halliburton are like, yeah, let's go team up with Anthony Davis. I'm just saying getting that other star post LeBron James. Now, obviously, the Lakers are going to try to go trade for that in the offseason. But even then, right? Like, let's say you do land Donovan Mitchell, right? Like Anthony Davis, Donovan Mitchell, and you go get a complimentary star that is on the roster or something, right? It's like, hey, or even post LeBron or post Anthony Davis, like I mentioned, because he's got a 4-year deal, and then you start getting into his later years. No, maybe somebody comes along after, or maybe guys kind of network, and Anthony Davis and LeBron James are pushing for Lakers' future. But again, like these stars, right? Like you look at kind of the list, and this guy's like, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, like I said, Anthony Edwards, who I really want. And again, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, like those guys will never. Again, you know how many times we have heard that as Laker fans? Like Rajon Rondo in his heyday. Yeah, granted, again, Rajon Rondo came in the later years, but he was a big factor in us winning a championship. Like Dwight Howard was a big factor in us winning a championship. And like as these guys get older and things fizzle out, I mean, especially like a team like Phoenix, right? Like if they just got swept, if that doesn't work out in the next few years, like right, and they have no future or anything like that, and stars aren't really known to line up to go to Phoenix. Like Devin Booker's like, hey, like let me go down the road a bit to LA, right? Like again, never say never. But as far as like the recruitment of the stars and stuff, right? Like you could even kind of like LeBron and Anthony Davis could do kind of the networking for that like next wave. Right? Like, hey, I'm gonna sign a 3-year deal. Your contract's up in 3 years, right? Like, man, just head on over. Go team up with AD. If I still got it in the tank, maybe I stick around and the three of us maybe go win a championship or something, right? Like, there's just so much incentive for these guys. And again, this is where it comes. A lot of these guys, again, played in the AAU circuits together. A lot of these guys are actual friends and grew up together, like, and knew each other and are like friends off the court. It's one of the big things that people talk about, in today's NBA. Like, all these guys are friends. No one really wants to like kill each other anymore, right? It's all like, they're all buddy after and stuff, right? Like, there's gonna be a era and wave where guys start teaming up. Phoenix is another example, right? Like a couple of years ago, did you think Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal would be on the Phoenix Suns? Now, I don't think that made sense, right? It was illogical, but my point is like those guys all teamed up together, right? And Kevin Durant was supposedly a big catalyst in getting Bradley Beal because they're friends. You don't think that, again, Anthony Edwards, I think he has like 3 more years after this year on his deal. Right? And I think Tyrese Halliburton's like the same thing, 3 or 4 years. Right? They've been playing in FIBA together, playing Team USA together. Right? You don't think that like all of a sudden both of them have the potential to go into free agency and they're like, hey man, like why don't we team up together? Dude, Anthony Davis's contract expires. The Lakers are gonna have a bunch of money. Like, you, me, go to LA, play in the sun, right? You got the nightlife, the girls, you got the weather, right? Anthony Davis is still balling out, right? Like, hey man, maybe AD sticks around and we kind of work something out, right? Or, hey, my contract, hey, why don't I go to LA this year, right? And next year, your contract's up, force your way to LA, right? They have some assets, we trade, work it out, talk to the front office. It's not tampering if the players are talking, right? You see it all the time. And again, it's not that far-fetched to think that there's going to be a star, especially on these like small markets. Like the guy that I really want is Anthony. Like he might be my favorite player. Like genuinely. I don't even think he might. I think he is dude, I love watching that guy. Like he's just ridiculous. He's in Minnesota. Right? Like again, like not to knock Minnesota. I mean, the Lakers at one point were, the Minneapolis Lakers, right? Like, but to me, it's like at some point, even if he wins championships, it's going to be like, hey, I should go to a big market. Right? And the Lakers position themselves, right? All of a sudden, you can't undersell a big market, right? Especially a big market that is known for winning. Right? And especially if these guys can get other pieces. I'm just saying, like, don't be shocked, if, a couple years from now, a couple guys mosey on over to the Lakers, Lakers always get stars, right? It's just a matter of time. Even when LeBron leaves, even when AD leaves, Lakers are going to get some other stars. It's the Lakers, right? So don't be surprised if in a couple years, it's like, oh yeah, these two guys, again, just like examples, Halliburton and Anthony Edwards go to Lakers. It's like, oh man, this stemmed 4 years ago when they were on Team USA, when we were playing in FIBA. And the two of them said, hey, like, first chance we get to play with each other, we're going to do it. Right? Like, don't be shocked. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think Anthony Davis and LeBron James will be recruiting? Do you think that they'll be kind of like, hey, come to Lakers? Do you think like, nah, like, not going to happen? Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.